Hello dear poultry farmers. Brooding your day chicks is not as hard as you think. I have found a simple method that will help me teach you how to brood your day chicks effectively. Being it an intermediate, a beginner or a pro, this video will teach you, is promising you an effective method to understand how to brood your day chicks. Kindly have patience, stick with me, and at the end of this video, before I forget, if there's any method you feel you know and I do not, or as I'm discussing this video I did not add, please let us know in the comment section so other people will be able to learn from you also. So before I move properly, let me start with this. Day old chicks is just like a newborn baby. Just as all of us come from a home, we come from a family and we have witnessed in one way or the other how newborn baby are raised. Right from the hospital after birth, they will take the baby to a particular room. I don't know what the room is called. They will take the baby to a particular room. They will bath, like they will take care of the baby, clean the baby's body, and they will tell you that do not use anyhow materials or anyhow clothes on the baby's body. This is to prevent infection. So they will clean the baby's body with some disinfected materials, clean materials. Sometimes they will even tell you to buy some disinfectant so that they'll be able to use it on the baby's body. And in some cases the doctor will even inject the baby. Yeah, the newborn baby, the doctor will inject it. Well, I'm not a doctor. I can't say much on what happened there in that particular room. But just as the newborn baby is separated from the mother into a particular room where they are being given the first attention, that is the same thing that happens in the hatchery. After these chicks are hatched, the hatcheries managers or people who work in the hatchery will take the birds to a particular place where they observe them, take care of them, make sure that their body is neat, and they have been given the proper vaccination, right? They have been given the proper vaccination and every necessary thing that needs to be done. So if there's any unusual deformity with the birds, it will be taken care of in the hatchery. Some they will separate it into a separate place while they just do the sorting. It is sorting. They sort the birds, then vaccinate against some diseases. So these are what they do in the hatchery before the birds get to you. And that is the same thing that happens in the hospital. After the baby has been taken care of, they return the baby to the mother. Now, in this situation, they are not returning the day old chicks back to the parent stock where they got the eggs from. No. In this situation, they are returning the day old chicks back to you, the farmer. Now, in a situation like this where you are a new farmer or you are an intermediate but you don't fully understand how to build your birds, this is where most of us have panic in. How do we take care of these birds? How do we make sure that we don't lose them? Because they are small, they are not, they don't have feathers, and they are not able to regulate their own body temperature. So what do we need to do in this aspect? Now let's go back into my example, taking care of the newborn baby. Now, after the newborn baby is being returned back to the mother, the responsibility onward is belongs to the mother. The doctor have nothing to do again except for a checkup. If there's anything that happens, the mother can still check up in the hospital. So the most responsibility belongs to the mother, and for you, the farmer, that is the same thing. Most responsibility of that day old chicks you are receiving belongs to you. You have 70% role to play in success after receiving your day old chicks from the hatchery. The hatchery will play their part by supplying you with quality and well vaccinated birds. The next line of action goes to you, the farmer, and that is where you take 70% or 60% of the work. Yes, whatever you do as a farmer will influence the result at the end. So after this baby is being given to the mother will now go to the house, then start taking care of the baby by giving the baby a warm bath. Yes, after the baby is being received by the mother, when they get to the house, the mom will give the newborn baby a warm bath, not a hot bath, a warm bath. And that is the same thing for you as a poultry farmer who just received the old chicks. As you take those chicks to your pen, you give them warm temperature. The temperature in the room should be warm, not hot and not cold. The mother will not give the baby cold bath, reason being that the baby from the womb already have a particular temperature the baby is used to. So all of a sudden change in that temperature is going to affect the baby. Either the baby goes sick or the baby will die. If you ever, I'm not a doctor, but if you ever bathe a newborn baby with cold water, you are, it's just a risk. You either lose the baby or the baby will go sick. So that is the same thing for us, the poultry farmers. As you get your day old chicks, you give them warm temperature, 33 degree to 35 degrees Celsius of temperature, depending on the type of chicks you receive. So 33 to 35 degrees Celsius of temperature, and this temperature is very close to the temperature they are used to or they were used to from the incubator. This is for them to be able to adapt to the environment. So adaptability is a process, something that happens gradually. So you don't expect them leaving the incubator with a particular temperature and all of a sudden there's a very high decrease in the temperature they are used to. No, it will really affect them, just like I have said before. So instead of doing that, you are being advised to give them a temperature that is close to what they're already used to from the incubator, so that as they are living in the environment, they know that, yeah, this is not what they are really used to from the incubator, but where they are is not really affecting, what they are really getting is not something that is going to affect them that much, thereby calling or making them to be adaptable to the environment. And as they grow older, you reduce the temperature gradually. Every week you reduce the temperature by 2 degrees Celsius. You reduce it as they are growing older, you reduce the temperature. And the reason why you are reducing the temperature is because at this point they are able to regulate their own body temperature. At this point they already have feathers. They are able to regulate their own body temperature. So as they grow, you reduce the temperature. If you don't reduce the temperature as they grow, it is going to cause issues to the bird also. Imagine you staying in a hot room, you as a human being staying in a hot room for a very long time. You will fall sick or you suffocate and die. So that's the same thing for the bird. So at this stage, they already have their feathers developed that is covering their body. So keeping to that 33 degree or 35 or 34 degrees Celsius will affect them, because the feather also is able to absorb some temperature to help them regulate, is able to absorb the temperature in their body. The food, whatever the feed they take in, will also increase their temperature, like the level of heat they feel internally. They tend to gather fat the more they eat food. The more they grow, the more food they eat, and they tend to gather fat. So that fat also generates internal heat in them. So internal heat plus the internal heat will cause issues to the bird. So it is advised that every 2 weeks, every 1 week, you reduce their temperature by 2 degrees Celsius. So that being said, the second thing we need to understand as farmers is proper ventilation. Proper ventilation. There is a need for quality air. If you don't breathe in quality air as humans, you, as an adult or being human being, if you don't breathe quality air few days, you will start having symptoms of several diseases. And that is the same thing for these new day old chicks. As they are coming into your pen, in as much as they need that warmth, they also need quality air. Let there be inflow and outflow of air. There should be inflow and outflow of air. It will help you a lot. Another thing is their drinking and feeding pattern. At this age, some of these birds are not, they are lazy to feed, they are lazy to drink. Just as a newborn baby, your mom or the mother will have to pick the baby to breastfeed the baby. The same thing for these chicks. So because of this, you are always advised to do broadcasting. You broadcast the feed on the floor so that wherever position these chicks are, as they are pecking the floor, they are able to take one or two feed into the system. So the drinking position should also be considered. You should also try to provide more drinkers for them. Yes, try to provide more drinkers for them, or try to help them know where the water is, the position of the water in the brooding house, so they'll be able to take in some water and start immediately. While also discussing on temperature, you need to observe it. I will have to go back. So while I was also discussing on temperature, I didn't add this. You will also need to observe if your chickens are having right temperature or not. So, and even distribution, you will know that yes, the temperature in the room is conducive for the birds. When they are huddling together, when they are gathering in one place, you know that yeah, the temperature in the room is cold. Then when they are panting, you know that the temperature in the room is too hot for them. There's a situation where they will also have warm temperature, and they will also try to go to a particular spot in the farm. You will detect it that this particular huddling together is because the temperature in the room is high, not cold. How you will detect this is when they are cooling together, they will not necessarily um step on themselves. They are just running from the heat source. That's to tell you that yes, the temperature in the room is hot. But a situation where they are huddling together, they are stepping on themselves, jumping on themselves, you know that okay, this is coming from low temperature. And at the end of everything, the result will be the bed smothering. Smothering is a situation where they land on themselves and there's high mortality. The birds start dying from smothering. So that is that for that also. Then make sure that as a farmer, as you are getting your birds, make sure they are coming with lot of stress. The actions or the activities in the hatchery is stressful. When they hatch the birds, they will take them from one spot to the other, moving the birds, trying to make sure they give them vaccination, trying to make sure that they keep the bird well. All those things are stress on the bird. Vaccination in the hatchery alone is a stress on the bird. So when they come, you try to give them anti-stress, anything that can help boost their immunity, boost their energy, so they will be able to stand fit and be active. Then another thing you need to follow again is sanitation. Make sure that you are observing, do not allow ammonia to build up in your pen before you clean up the pen. For day-old chicks, on the first day, we advise you use carton on the floor or newspaper. If you don't have these two, then you can use wood shaving. So as you are using this as beddings for them, also do well to observe it when the newspaper is getting wet or the wood shaving is getting dirty. Do well to remove it from the pen immediately and replace with another one. This will help you to be able to maintain their health. Farmers make this mistake of leaving their beds to go dirty, their pen to go dirty for a long time before trying to change the litters or change the cartons. It is not really advisable. And there's also this mistake that I see within some small scale poultry farmers. They will want to be sweeping their poultry house every day. You want to be sweeping their house every day because they are day chicks, you want to maintain neatness. Yes, in as much as you want to maintain neatness, sweeping your poultry house every day is a stress on them again, and it's going to be reducing their growth. Yes, they'll be stressed and they will not be able to convert whatever they eat into body weight. So they will not be able to convert any feed they eat well when they are stressed. So do well to not sweep their pen every day, but observe when their pen is dirty. You make sure you do proper sanitation. Then the next thing is proper biosecurity. Yes, biosecurity is something I will never joke with. Yes, biosecurity is always a top priority for me. So I will keep mentioning it in all my videos. Proper biosecurity. Make sure that you are having proper biosecurity in your pen. What is biosecurity? All those things you put in place, all those actions you take to protect your chickens against diseases. Washing your hand, disinfecting your legs before you go into the pen to avoid your chicken having diseases, to avoid the spread of diseases. Not allowing visitors to come into your house, your poultry house, not allowing other animals to come close to your poultry house. All those things we do to prevent, or yes, to prevent our chickens from having diseases is what I call biosecurity. So you must also put your biosecurity in place so as to help you be able to do this effectively. Then try to monitor their poop. Yes, the first 2 days of chickens arriving, or of chicks arriving in your pen, the poop they'll be dropping is those ones they already come with from the hatchery. Those are not necessarily diseases. Those are coming from yolk. They are coming from, all those are the are those all those things coming out are just like the yolk from the egg. What has kept the chickens to be active throughout the hatchery life. So that is what they are pooping out. That is not necessarily disease. But after 3 days of the bird arriving at your farm, you should start checking for normal chick poop color. Yes, we are having a mixture of light, dark, and white on it. That's a normal chicken poop. When you are having brown, you know that it is not bad. Although it's not all brown poop that are bad. Some early morning poop that come from the sika of the bird, yes, is usually brown and not that thick. So that is not a bad poop, but you observe very well. If your chickens are dropping brownish poop constantly, it's a sign that your chickens are affected with disease like coccidiosis. So you check if they are not having this normal poop. If you see anything greenish poop, know that yes, your chickens are having diseases. So you observe the color of the poop also to be able to track the health of your bird. Then you also check their weight always. Try to check their weight weekly. If you check their weight weekly, it will help you track to know if your birds are healthy or not. And healthy birds should be able to increase in weight. So if your birds are not increasing in weight, kindly know that yes, they are having some issues. Then another thing you need to put into action or into consideration as a farmer who want to breed the old chicks effectively is vaccination. Yes, in as much as I talk on you putting biosecurity, yes, you also need to do vaccination. Vaccination is also important. Just that from my own perspective, for me, I hold biosecurity in high esteem. Yes, I really hold biosecurity in high esteem. That is why you hear me talk more on biosecurity instead of vaccination. But note that vaccination is important. So as a new poultry farmers, do well to follow all vaccination schedule, given the Lasota, given the Gimboro. Follow all the necessary vaccination schedule to help you fight against diseases. You giving your chickens vaccine is you building immunity, is you making the animals also to be prepared before disease. It is almost the same thing as biosecurity. Almost the same thing as biosecurity. So this is just a little I thought to share. I have said so many things about how to do the OTs, but I just wanted to add this again. And before I end this video, poultry farmers, do not be afraid to brood your day chicks yourself. Yes, with this little knowledge I've shared, you should be able to brood your day chicks yourself. The reason why you are afraid is because you have heard the wrong teaching, not necessarily from those who teach you online, but from your fellow farmer or from your colleague whom you have seen had losses in the birds or whom have exaggerate the brooding of day old chicks. So it's not as hard as you think. So the reason why most poultry farmers are having this fear that I've found out is because of this exaggeration. You have been put, like before you start the business, people have put in this fear in you that brooding day old chicks is hard, brooding day old chicks is hard, going into poultry farming is risky. Which business is not risky? Is there any business in this world that is not risky? Is there anything in this world that is not risky? Is it poultry farming business alone that is risky? They are just scaring you away from the business. It is not as hard as you think. So with my little explanation in this video, I hope I was able to explain well to your understanding. If you are watching this video and you think there's something, you know how to do the cheese very well, you think there's something I did not add, please do well to add up in the comment section. Your contributions also mean a lot to us and other poultry farmers watching this video right now. So do not be afraid. Poultry farming business is risky, so also are other business risky. Do not allow anyone to scare you out of that your passion to start your farming this year. This is Abraham Agrovision, empowering farmers, transforming agriculture. This channel is all about efficiency, how we can minimize wastage and maximize profit. We go outside the box to look for information on how to solve poultry problem. We are also into livestock farming. Do well to hit subscribe button, share this video to your friends and family so they will also benefit from what you benefited from this video. Catch you guys in the next video. Do well to subscribe. Yes, hit that subscribe button. If you are watching us on TikTok, hit that plus button. Instagram, follow. Facebook, follow. And if you are watching us on Facebook, do well to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Abraham Agro Vision. Love you guys. Bye.